Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Today I have a special little project. It is now the end of February, where it's a very slow time of year for me as far as my sales are concerned. So I like to concentrate on my second love, which is charity. And I do a lot of charity. I belong to the Crochet Guild of America, a local chapter that's here in San Antonio. And we do a lot of baby Afghans, baby hats, baby toys, a lot of baby stuff. And so this is one of the projects that I have started doing, and I love these. This is a great beginner project. It doesn't take very long to make as far as an experienced crocheter is concerned, but it is something that a beginner can do very easily. If you're not comfortable actually crocheting an animal like a little duck or a bunny, then you can just buy one of these little toys at the dollar store. I like the Dollar Tree toys myself, and then you're going to crochet a little skirt around it. Now, one of the reasons why I like the dollar store little toys is that everything on it is sewn. These little eyes are sewn. They're not only sewn, but they're glued. They're not going anywhere. They don't have those little solid safety eyes is what they call them. The safety eyes have a tendency of popping off, and maybe the baby can choke on them or whatever. This little toy just has embroidery. Everything on it is just sewn, and it's only $1. This one is a little bit different in that it has a little piece of felt on here with some embroidery thread. Now, if you don't feel comfortable leaving that on, if this is for an infant, then, you know, go ahead and snip it off. The stitching is right there. Go ahead and snip it off and leave it alone. It's cute without it. Cute with or without it. And then the other part of this toy is the little skirt part, which is detachable. And it's just a granny hexagon that has been crocheted around a hair tie. One of these little black rubbery hair ties. That's all it is. This is really convenient though for mom, because she can just take the skirt part off of the toy and throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer. It's acrylic yarn, so you can do just about anything to it and you're not going to destroy it. So the list of materials you will need is a toy, obviously, some scrap yarn. I'm going to be using a J-hook because the yarn I'm using for this next toy will be the Red Heart Super Saver, which is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. And it's in the color of pumpkin because I'm going to make another little ducky. Other than that, you'll need, of course, the hair ties and a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle. And that's it. So let's begin. Okay, here we are. Here's one thing I forgot to mention that you're going to need is these stitch markers. If you're new to doing granny squares, these are really going to help you out in marking your corners. Okay, so let's start by making a slip stitch. Making a slip knot, slip knot, and putting your hook on there. And I'm going to start off by doing a standing double crochet. And how you do this is you yarn over, make sure you hold this in place so you don't have your tail spinning around like that. Just want to yarn over, hold it in place, insert your hook into the ponytail tie. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That makes your first double crochet. We're going to do 2 more double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 more double crochet. Okay, we've got 3 double crochets. Now we're going to chain 2 and do 3 more double crochets. yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Keep going till you have that second set of 3. Now at this point, right here where you have your chain 2, that's where I'm going to put my first stitch marker. This will mark your corner, and it'll really help you see your stitches on your next row. Okay, so now we're going to do another, this is one corner. We're going to do a total of 6 of these. So we're going to chain 1 in between all the corners. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, do another double crochet, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go back to your chain 2 space right there. Grab another stitch marker. Put that on there. Okay, so we formed 2 complete corners. We're going to do this 4 more times. And if you have to get all your stitches on, you can kind of bunch it up a little bit like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed, and I'll meet you back at the end of the last corner. Okay, now I am at the end of my last corner. I just need 2 more double crochets. So let me go ahead and do those real quick. Oh, I'm having trouble here. It's kind of tricky watching the camera and watching your stitches at the same time. Here we go. Alrighty, and now we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of this double crochet that we did at the very beginning. Okay, so you've completed your first round. You should have 6 stitch markers all the way around, which I do. Each corner consists of a cluster of 3 double crochets, a chain 2, 3 double crochets. That's one corner, and each corner should be separated by 1 chain 1 space. Okay, so now to go on to row 2, what we're going to do is slip stitch all the way across until we get to this corner right here. And the way you do a slip stitch, in case you didn't know, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull that loop through that stitch and the loop on your hook. So you're going all the way through. Insert your hook into the top of this next stitch, pull that loop through and through, and then you're going to do it one more time into this chain 2 space. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through. Okay, so now you're in your corner. You're going to make another corner on top of that. So you're going to start with a chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet. Then you're going to do 2 more double crochets because each corner consists of a cluster of 3, a chain 2, and then a cluster of 3. Okay, so there's your first cluster of 3. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do another cluster of 3. If you want, if this is getting in your way, you can go ahead and take this off now, set it aside, and then do your other cluster of 3 double crochet. And there, you've got your next corner. 3, 2, and 3. Then you want to go ahead and get that stitch marker and mark your corner one more time. This is not necessary if you're used to doing granny squares, but like I said, for beginners, sometimes these chain 1 spots look like a corner, and it really isn't. It's only the chain 2 spot that's the corner, so this way you're differentiating the two. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is a chain 1. So you're always going to chain 1 in between the 3 double crochet cluster unless it's a corner. The corners are always going to be chain 2. Okay, and then you're going to do a 3 double crochet cluster in this chain 1 space. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook in between these 3 double crochets and these 3. There's a chain 1 at the top, and then you're going to do 3 double crochets. Get some more yarn. There you go. You've got your corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, a chain 1, and then 3 double crochet. You're going to chain 1 and then do another corner right here in this next spot. I'll put that stitch marker aside. So each corner is a 3 double crochet cluster, followed by a chain 2, followed by a 3 double crochet cluster. There we go. I'm going to put my stitch marker back. Okay, so you're going to repeat this all the way around with your corner, chain 1, cluster, chain 1, and corner. Repeat that all the way around, and I will meet you back at the end. Okay, here I am at the end. I've just done the last cluster of 3. We're going to chain 1, and then you're going to slip stitch into the top of this first chain 3. Insert your hook. Remember how to do a slip stitch. Insert your hook. You want to yarn over, pull through that stitch, then pull through the loop on your hook. And you're going to slip stitch across until you get into this next chain 2. All right, and so now that you're there into that chain 2 space, we're going to pretty much do what we did on the last round, and we're going to continue on all the way around until we have about 7 rows. So you're going to work a corner into your corner space, and you're going to work a chain 3 cluster in your chain 1 spaces all the way around. So let me just go ahead and show you on the first few right here. In this first corner, you're going to chain 3. That gives you the height you need for your first double crochet. It counts as your first double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You should know how to do a double crochet by this point. So you've got your first 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 2. Do your second set of 3 double crochets. Replace your stitch marker. After a while, you're not going to really need these stitch markers, but like I said, when you're just beginning, you have a hard time seeing the difference between a corner and a straight edge, or a chain 1 versus a chain 2. Okay, then we're going to chain 1. We're going to do a 3 double crochet cluster in this chain 1 spot. Then you're going to chain 1 and then a 3 double crochet cluster in this chain 1 spot. Chain 1, and then there's your next corner. So we're going to work this all the way around and continue in this manner until you have 7 rows completed, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so here we are at the end of our row 7, and I've got a cluster of 3, chain 1. I have 1 more cluster of 3 double crochets to go. So I'll just finish those up really quick. And then chain 1. And instead of doing a slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 and then finishing off, I'm going to show you a slightly different technique. What we're going to do is you want to cut this tail about 6 inches or more. I'm pretty generous. And then we're just going to pull this loop all the way out. Okay? And you don't want to tighten it too much because then you're going to lose your chain. You just want it a little snug. Then you're going to get your tapestry needle. Go ahead and thread your tapestry needle. And what you're going to do is you're going to thread it. You're going to sew this in the same direction as you would if you were going to do a slip stitch. So you're going to slide that through here. I'm going to go through both loops of that chain. Okay, and then you want to pull it, but don't pull it too tight or you're going to lose the look of your stitch. Then you're going to insert your hook into the top of this stitch, which was your chain 1. And while you're at it, you want to go ahead and go through this stitch right here. So you've got 2 loops. And this just kind of makes it a little bit more snug. And as you pull it tight, it looks like you don't have a knot. It looks like just one more stitch. So you can kind of hide your knot a little bit. See that? Then you can just take your needle and weave in. I like to take it down to the bottom of the stitches and then kind of weave in back and forth across here to finish it off. So I'm going to insert in here. And I go back and forth 2 or 3 times. 3 is kind of my magic number. And on the last pass through, go ahead and try to split those stitches. It has a tendency of hanging together a little bit better if you do that. And then you can just snip off. Stretch it out. There you go. You can barely even see where you had that knot. Okay, and then you want to finish off this other end as well. Now this one came out pretty big. This is Red Heart Super Saver. I believe on this one, on the yellow one, I love this yarn, and I don't remember the color on that, and I think this one was a Karen Simply Soft. All three of these are 7 stitches, or 7 rows, but they all came out looking a little bit different just because of the different weights. Even though they all say they're number 4 worsted weight, you know, there are some variances in the different yarns, and Red Heart Super Saver is kind of one of the bigger, bulkier ones. Okay, so there we go with our little ducky. There's our ducky with the orange. Let me slide my camera back a little bit. Ducky with the orange and ducky with the yellow. They look really, really cute, and they're ready to be given away. I hope you're really happy with this project. I know I am, and I'm going to be making a whole lot more to give away. And thank you very much for joining me. Hope to see you again real soon. Bye.